Welcome to Module 2 of How Successful People Think. This is our introductory course, and today's topic deals with mindsets. Henry Ford once said, "If you think you can or you think you can't, either way you are correct." Our mindset influences how we think, and how we think influences how we act and who we are. Sometimes it's almost circular, because perhaps it's maybe the way we think affects our mindset and vice versa. But let's take the word apart for just a moment, the word mindset, and just say, how set is your mind on something? What we've noticed about successful people when they're thinking is that they choose to have a mindset that helps them focus on what they're doing. Some of us have what we call a growth mindset. We are willing to try different things and new things. And some of us have a fixed mindset. We are comfortable with what we do know. We're not sure that we could do something different or new, and we don't even try it. I think that it's really contextual. I think sometimes in a given situation, a person can have a growth mindset, and another situation they could have a fixed mindset. So not too long ago, I asked one of our associates, Marcus, if he could work on my computer. And he said, "What is the issue?" I said, "I'd like for you to take out the hard drive. And have you ever done that before?" He says, "No, I haven't, but I'll go to the YouTube, get a video, I'll figure out how to do it." And I don't know, within 4 or 5 days, he brings back the hard drive to me. Now that's an example of a growth mindset. He hadn't done something before, but he had some technical knowledge, and he had the confidence to go forward and try something different. Now, let's just change this around, and someone had come up to me and says, "Carl, would you take out the hard drive out of my computer?" Now, in this case, I'm not technically oriented, and I would have what I'd call a fixed mindset. I would say, "I really don't know how to do that. I'm probably not interested in learning how to do that, so therefore I can never do it, I will never do it," and so forth like that. Now, we're not saying that one is good and one is bad, but what we are suggesting is that the successful people that we have had the privilege of observing typically will adopt a mindset that is forward-thinking, forward-moving, somewhat maybe of a prudent risk taker to try different things to see if they will work out. We'll just talk a little bit about some other dimensions of a mindset and then ask a few questions. So there are some of us who are motivated by challenges. We get our energy from being challenged. There are others of us that when we see a situation, we don't see it as a challenge, we see it as an obstacle. So it could be like, oh, here's a mountain out here. Some people are challenged because the mountain is there, they want to climb it. Others see the mountain there, it's an obstacle, they don't have any idea of why they would ever want to walk up that mountain. There are some of us who, when we are faced with a problem, the mindset we adopt is like, let's seek a solution to this problem. Well, there are others that might say, who can I blame for this problem? So again, it's a different mindset, and we believe that we are free to choose the mindset that we want based on how we want to think about the situation. There are some of us who believe that my efforts can impact the results. And there are others of us who say, why should I even try? No matter how hard I work, some other factor outside of my ability will actually determine the results. That's the thinking that goes on in some of our heads sometimes. So what we want to focus on is the growth mindset when it is appropriate for an individual. So for example, some of us tend to be goal-oriented. We can visualize some end result. We may not, at this point, actually know how to get there, but it is something that we might be attracted to. There are others of us who are not goal-oriented in the same sense, but maybe process-oriented. So our best effort maybe comes about when we have like a roadmap or a system or a procedure to follow. So it's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. We get energy from that, and that helps us become successful. Now, on a team situation, you actually really want people who have a mixture. Some are goal-oriented, some are process-oriented, some are a little bit of both. So we go back then to how you think is everything. Successful people tend to lean more toward what we call a growth mindset. I've really not done this before. I think I can learn to do it, and I am anxious to get started doing it. Sort of like Marcus in changing out the hard drive. However, there are others of us who have a fixed mindset. I can remember hearing someone say one time, you know, I'm not good at math. I never was good at math in school. Therefore, I never learned to do such and such. So they had a fixed mindset about learning something new around math. That's okay. Successful people tend to think in terms of a growth mindset, tends to think in terms of a goal-oriented mindset, tend to think in terms of I can do this type of mindset, tend to think in terms of seeking solutions type mindset. At least that's been our experience in working with and observing successful people and how they think. Thank you.